You may have heard that the government of the United Kingdom has decided at this point in time when a lot of people are suffering from the economic conditions in the country, and at the point where we're moving into deep winter, when the energy cost is going to be as high as humanly possible, that's when the United Kingdom government and HMRC have decided to target the wee bit of stuff that people do to make that extra cash to make ends meet. And that's side hustles. Now, up until recently, or up until this new rule, there's been a kind of allowance of, I think it was about £1,000 a year, that if you make less than that, then you didn't even have to report or bother about this. But going forward from now, as of January of 2024, which is just a month away, these websites that allow people to make that extra money, we're talking about eBay, Etsy, PayPal, Airbnb, places like that, are going to be required to basically report all of the activities that people are doing on there directly to HMRC. So basically the government is saying, rather than having you be the adult and report your taxes, they give you the benefit of the doubt as a citizen who is law abiding to get it right. They are going to take that power from you. They're going to go directly to the source. They're going to treat it like, they treat income tax, right? Now, if you take that to its logical conclusion and they let PayPal and they let eBay and they let Etsy, let them do the taxes for us. Let us provide Etsy, eBay, and all those places with our expenses information and let them deal with it and pay our taxes. Perhaps that wouldn't be seen as too bad by some people. That might just be one extra step while you're doing your listings and things. For instance, if you're selling on Etsy or eBay, to say that, well, this isn't really a profit. This is something that I bought 5 years ago, used, and now selling at 10% of the price of which I bought it. And then that just doesn't get reported by eBay and everything becomes streamlined. But no, what they're going to do is they're going to hold that as some kind of, we knew what you did. Now let's see if you report it properly. And they're going to compare the information that they've got directly from eBay with the information that you file. So basically what they're trying to do isn't to get people to necessarily pay the correct tax, is they're trying to catch you out so they can go after you, and God knows what they're going to do. Look at this article. HMRC is clamping down on side hustles. What tax do you need to pay? Everyone from holiday homeowners to delivery drivers will be affected by the new data sharing rules. New rules coming into force from January 2024 could mean people who make money through a side hustle have their bank account details shared with HM Revenue and Customs, HMRC. As part of a global clampdown on tax evasion, digital platforms that allow people to make extra cash on top of their main income will be ordered to give HMRC users information. This will impact everyone from holiday rental hosts and delivery drivers and sellers on online marketplaces and even freelancers. And basically this website explains what it means for you. They try to help people with information. I can imagine lots of people are panicking at this point. By the way, this also affects crypto sites. So if you do a little bit of trading on Robinhood or Kraken or one of those other places, crypto.com, you do a little bit of staking, a little bit of trading, then you are going to be affected if you're in the UK. I've always paid taxes. People in my field, my colleagues, if you may, people in the cryptocurrency world, they think I'm crazy that I've always paid taxes. But I knew that this day will come when the information that we have will be reported to the government. And not only are they going to look from January going forward, I believe that they're going to go retrospectively and look at the things that you've done in the past, just when they get the time, when they get this rolling. And they're going to go after people who haven't paid taxes in the previous years, right? Luckily for us, the transactions that we carry out are stored permanently on the ledgers on which we perform them. So if you have access to those ledgers, you can retrospectively calculate taxes. I use a software that does this for me. It doesn't matter how long ago it was. It can go back in time and calculate your taxes. Also follows all my activities because I have all my wallets connected to the software, and it just monitors everything for me, and it produces a tax form, tax returns, everything at the end of the day. And you can actually sign up for it for free. It only charges you when you need to do your actual taxes, and you can pick your country. I just picked the United Kingdom, but it works in the United States, in Canada, in Australia. Pick your country. It gives you a list of the type of tax returns and stuff that you want to generate. It prints out, basically spits it all out for you, every single transaction, profit, loss, etc. And then you can actually send that off to your tax people, HMRC, IRS, what have you. I'll leave a link in the description if you're interested. It's an affiliate link, obviously. If you ever were to pay for anything there, I might get a small commission, but it's free to sign up and I don't get anything. The tax office already has the power to demand UK-based apps and websites to provide data on the income of sellers, including bank account details. Okay, so it's not just the activity that you're doing on the website. They have your bank account details, so they know where you're putting the money, where it's coming from. This is probably one of the reasons why I'm having problems with Uphold at the moment. The government has got them by the cojones, and they're trying to grab mine. But because the main digital platforms are based overseas, such as holiday letting sites, some tax dodgers are still slipping through the net. HMRC has now signed up to the Organization for Economic Cooperation, oh my God, and Development, OECD. Remember that, OECD. This is which will allow it to investigate the tax affairs of people earning an income via a company that operates abroad. So this is a global consortium. You guys are freaking out right now. I can just hear all my crypto people going mad. This is a global body that is going to clamp down on you internationally. So all of you guys moving to Portugal, running away to Dubai, they're coming for you, man. Which under the measures, it will also share information with other participating tax authorities where a seller is a resident. A copy of the details would then be sent to the seller to help them comply with their tax obligations. Show me your papers. As of November 2022, 28 countries and jurisdictions have signed up to the OECD rules. I didn't know that. HMRC hopes that the rules, which will be introduced in the new year, will mean more people get their tax bill right and clamp down on those deliberately avoiding paying tax. Now, notice the word they use there, avoiding rather than evading, right? Because actually tax avoidance is legal. I'm not a tax expert and this is not tax advice, of course, but there are legal ways of avoiding tax, okay? And the richest people in the world have the best accountants and best lawyers, and they know how to avoid tax. And none of these rules are going to apply to any of those people. These rules are for you and for me, the poor people. Or I'm not poor, but the working class, the middle class, the people who, the side hustle people who are trying to make ends meet in these difficult times. These rules are for you because you're the ones that don't know how to avoid taxes legally. HMRC told which we use various methods, including working with online rental and marketplace platforms to help make it easy as possible for people to pay the right tax. By the way, the amount of tax that you pay depends on your income and a whole bunch of other things. It also depends on if you're a sole proprietor, if you're freelancing, if you're doing this as a job, or if all your assets are sitting behind an LLC, a company of some kind. My stuff is sitting behind LLCs and limited companies, so I have some extra protections. Again, not financial advice, not legal advice, not accounting advice. You have to seek advice from experts. But I do have a link again in the description if you're interested to set up an LLC for only $39. Very, very, very cheap. Affiliate link. I get commission if you do. Let's have a look. So what taxes do you need to pay on extra earnings? Side hustles, jobs you take jobs you take on in addition to your main job have become a popular way to boost earnings. Yeah, well, or it's not popular, it's like the only way some people are making ends meet. But whether it is selling handcraft goods or delivering takeaways, any money you make counts as self-employed income and must be declared to the tax office. However, you won't need to declare what you earn if you make less than £1,000 during the tax year. That's what I was talking about. As it can be covered by the trading allowance. But look, £1,000 is nothing, guys. This applies to income from activities such as selling goods or services. If your additional income is made from monetizing your property in some way, like renting your driveway, up to £1,000 can be covered by the property allowance. If you earn more than this in a year, then it's your responsibility to declare income to HMRC via self-assessment tax return. So now this is what I do, right? I do the assessment tax return. Everybody in Britain does that. But up until these rules, we are trusted to be grown-ups and responsible members of the citizenry and declare it properly, right? But now the UK government thinks that too many people are evading taxes or avoiding taxes. So now they're going to make sure that what you're doing is more accurate. Now, it sounds great until you really think about what they're trying to do. Say, for example, someone has a full-time job, right? They have a 9 to 5 or 9 to 8, as many people have. They come home and they find the extra bit of half an hour that they have to do that extra side hustle to try and make ends meet, right? Now, they've got to do paperwork because now the thing has to be accurate, right? Whereas I'm sure most people, when they do their taxes, they're probably a couple of pounds off, you know, £5 off, £10 off, maybe £20 off, right? As long as you get it in the ballpark, usually this has been okay for time immemorial. But now they're going to find you when you got 20 quid off. They're going to say, oh, look, you're evading taxes, and God knows what they're going to do with that. A lot of people are just going to ditch the side hustle and just be poor, because even people selling on eBay who are not going to make any profits, but they're going to be selling more than £1,000 in a tax year, even though that's not profit, they will not only have to do their taxes, but they would have to do paperwork. They have to do, you know, hours of spreadsheets and stuff just to make sure that everything is exactly right as eBay is going to report to HMRC. And that extra burden just adds to the problem that they already have. That's time they could be spending on actually making money doing the side hustles to feed their families and stuff, right? And then it goes into registering for self-assessment as soon as possible, yada, yada, yada. Make sure you file to pay on time, yada, yada, yada. Now, again, like I said before, I'm already registered. A lot of people are already registered. They do their taxes every year. We're coming to end of the month when, you know, the deadlines are coming up, you know, on the 31st of January, I think it is. You're going to have people rushing again, kicking and screaming. And notice that this article doesn't talk anything about crypto, but, you know, cryptocurrencies are included, except they aren't seen as income per se in the UK unless you're a very high frequency trader or you're a day trader, then it's counted as income. If you're just hodling and you do the occasional swing trade, or you're moving from, unfortunately, crypto to stablecoin, that is seen as a taxable event. So if you sold your Bitcoin into Ethereum, for instance, that's taxable in the UK, and you have to register for tax and pay. And now all those platforms that you've been doing them on, especially if they operate in the United Kingdom, will be sending all those transactions to the government. So you better make sure that, you know, you're doing the right thing. Again, not tax advice, no legal advice, no financial advice. Do your own research. I will see you in the next video. Peace.